Some LEGO sets are just toys. This is not one of them. The Ultimate Collector Series sets are for adult, expert builders. It's a test of skill, patience, and engineering. So what happens when an 8-year-old is ready for the challenge? This is that story. If you're a kid who loves LEGO, you have a master plan. You start with the small sets, then you work your way up. My 8-year-old son is no different. He's a veteran of countless builds and a huge Star Wars fan. And in the world of LEGO Star Wars, there's one level that stands above all others: the Ultimate Collector Series. With designs so big and detailed, they're usually reserved for adult expert builders. And for fans of the show The Mandalorian, there was one ship everybody wanted: the Razor Crest. It was the iconic ship of a lone bounty hunter and his foundling, Grogu, a beloved, beat-up bucket of bolts that was their home. So when LEGO announced they were making a UCS version of it, we knew. This wasn't just another set. This was the call to adventure. The box for the UCS Razor Crest is enormous. It's less like a toy and more like a piece of furniture. The moment it arrived, the mission was real. We knew what we had to do. First, we needed a mission control. My job was simple: head of logistics, the official brick sorter. His job? He was the chief engineer. And when we opened that box, we saw the scale of the project. Bag after bag of gray bricks, over 6,000 pieces in total. It was an intimidating mountain of plastic. But for an 8-year-old, intimidating just looks like fun. He dove right in. The first part of any UCS build isn't the cool exterior, it's the hidden skeleton, a super strong frame of LEGO Technic beams. This is what keeps a 6,000-piece model from collapsing under its own weight. It's a serious piece of engineering, designed by LEGO master Cesar Suarez. This wasn't just following instructions anymore. This was a marathon, and it had just begun. Every big project has a moment where things go wrong. For us, it happened right after the main base of the ship was built. He had just spent a huge amount of time building one of the massive side panels. It was complex, with tons of oddly shaped pieces. He proudly went to attach it to the frame, and it wouldn't fit. We looked at the instructions, we looked at the build, and then we saw it. He had accidentally built a mirror image of the panel. One of the key pieces was flipped, making the whole section backwards. For a moment, his face just fell. That feeling of having to undo hours of work is tough for any builder. But he took a deep breath, grabbed the brick separator, and got to work. He had to redo the entire side, piece by piece. It was a real test of his patience, but it taught him a valuable lesson. Even when you make a mistake, you don't quit. You just build it again. Better this time. The outside of the Razor Crest is an amazing display piece, but the inside is where the story happens. Huge sections of the roof and side panels lift away easily. It reveals a complete, fully detailed cargo hold. One reviewer called it a dollhouse for bounty hunters. And honestly, that's the perfect description. This isn't just an empty shell. It's a playable space. Over here is the weapons cabinet, packed with blasters. And right in the center, the carbonite freezing chamber. The set comes with different bounties, all frozen in carbonite blocks. You can stack them up, just like in the show. There's even a hidden escape pod in the roof. It has just enough room for one minifigure to make a quick getaway. For an 8-year-old, this was the ultimate feature. It transformed a complex model into a real Star Wars adventure. The ship wasn't just something to look at. It was a place where stories could happen. After hours of work, the internal skeleton was complete. The ship's frame was massive and surprisingly strong. But a ship isn't a ship without its engines. And the Razor Crest's engines are legendary. Even in LEGO form, they are huge. Each one is its own major construction project. Many builders say this is their favorite part of the process. Despite the thousands of gray pieces, the build never feels boring. The designer, Cesar Suarez, put a ton of thought into them. He even designed them to be completely removable, just like in the show, when the Jawas famously stripped the ship for parts. For my son, building these felt like leveling up. You spend hours on the complex interior structure. Then, you get to build these two incredible, identical engine pods. They are packed with clever details and hidden pieces. You can feel the power of the ship coming to life in your hands. But the best part? The real Mark Rober moment? It's when you finally slot those finished engines into the main body. Click. The sound of perfect engineering. With the engines attached, the ship finally had its power. Now, it just needed its shell. Finally, after exhausting dedicated work on the engines and interior, we reached the final phase. This is the best part of any project. All the scattered, half-finished sections finally come together. The massive side panels, the detailed cockpit, the landing gear. One by one, they slotted into the main Technic frame. Suddenly, it wasn't a collection of parts anymore. It was the Razor Crest, taking its iconic, rugged shape. You could feel the focus in the room intensify. The final bags were opened. The last pages of the manual were turned. The last major step was assembling the heavy forward cannons. As the twin blasters clicked into place at the front of the ship, the moment of triumph was almost there. The ship is built, but a ship is nothing without its crew. The set comes with 4 minifigures and a detailed cockpit with room for 3. You get an exclusive Mandalorian and Grogu, sort of. Grogu is not new, but this is the first set in minifigure scale to include his hover pram. My son loves to place them at the controls, ready for their next adventure. But you also get some welcome additions, like the Ugnaught Kuiil and the Mithril from the very first episode. With the full crew assembled, the ship truly comes to life. And then it happened. The final brick clicked into place. After hours of focus, the marathon was over. He had done it. The UCS Razor Crest was complete, and it was breathtaking. It's a massive ship that's nearly 3 feet long, and thanks to that hidden Technic skeleton, it's surprisingly sturdy. You can pick the whole thing up without it buckling, a feat of LEGO engineering. With the ship finished, it was time to welcome the Blurg. This brick-built creature is a fan favorite, but getting it up the ramp and into the cargo hold, that's an adventure in itself. It's an extremely tight squeeze. Finally, with the crew at their stations and the bounties loaded, the adventure was ready. This build started as a challenge, a test of skill for an 8-year-old builder, but in the end, it became a masterpiece. And it only makes him more excited for the next challenge to come. Thanks for watching Dad and Son Brick Time. If you enjoyed this video, give us a like and hit that subscribe button for more fun LEGO builds. See you next time!